And just like that, allow me to welcome you. South Africa, Mzansi, we are live. Welcome to Trendz Love, exclusive to SABC News Channel 404. Now, we do it every single Friday. That's at 8 p.m. Listen, this is the best entertainment and lifestyle show. I am talking hot performances. We go to the best spots in town, and we're also talking about men's mental health. Today, to come and tell us a bit about me and you as men, to talk about mental health and how to navigate around it. Now, conversations about mental health are constantly stigmatized, and there can be a lot of shame or judgment around struggling with mental illness. This is especially true when it comes to discussing masculinity and mental health. Now, June is Men's Mental Month, and to wrap it up, it is important that we continue having the conversation about men's mental health too. And around this time last year, media personality Solomon Kapo Mure opened up about his struggle with depression and how he attempted 5 suicide attempts. Now, allow me please to welcome him on the show. Minir.
Thank you, Tata Galega. No,
I'm very much happy to have you here.
Thank you,
Definitely. Now, before we go any further, I just want us to start here.
Yeah.
I'm coming from Kokasi, the word depression, it's something so foreign. Sometimes, but it's not a vocabulary word that you use on a day-to-day basis. How did you know that you're going through depression?
So, Kokasi, like, as kids, man, like, we were not taught about that. Like, depression, what is depression?
Yeah.
How or something when you're going through something. So, after losing my parents, I didn't know what feeling I'm going through, that time. And I moved to Pretoria, and I was always sad, I always wanted attention, I would always cut myself, because losing both parents is not, it's something that you can just say, okay, sharp, I'm over so let me just thing. So, I stayed with I came to Pretoria, stayed with my brother there, I was going through so many things, because I wanted attention. You get what I'm saying? Like, if it, I used to but I really need attention. And, what about I started learning more about like depression and when I moved to Joburg, when I stayed with my friend who was also, he would go through some of the things so like and he didn't have anything, I didn't have anything, and he was like my dad, that guy, because he was the only one who was working, that guy. He became a rapper, he was a rapper, and everybody would come to me like, and so,
actually, you're saying something very important, Khabua, about he became a father to you. The biggest problem that we have, Kokas, especially amongst Tina Esma out, we have this thing, and I was actually talking to my friend earlier on when I was telling him about this interview that, Kokasi, whenever a man loses his job, it becomes a talk of a town. But then when a woman loses their job, it's not actually a topic of such, right? So how would you advise men out there to become strong and actually learn to speak about it? I'm talking Kokawash, I'm talking during the braai, I'm talking Lima Utifela watching soccer. How do we start? How do I, as Diseto, start to tell my Autikuti Jens, I'm actually not fine?
So me, because I always go to Mafiki and Kukasi, like Kazi. So I have a lot of friends who were on, like 2 or 3 of them are on, like we're doing like Budi Nyaope, all those things, And I go to my house, do that thing, and I would sit with my friends. I would invite like all my friends that I grew up with, and we'll sit there and we'll talk. And some of them would be like, because like Ronas Majid didn't get what are we going through? I mean, like one of my friends said to me, if I don't mind appearing on TV, these things, like what did this thing do to me? And I wanted to do something and talk with him and then get him help. Today he's sober now, because we spoke. Rabu was Majita, and he called me like 2 days ago. Like, how you doing? They're like, I'm going, I'm good, I'm coming strong. I'm looking for a job now. I have a kid, and all of those things. So us as Majita, we don't really talk a lot. So me, I was like, I'm tired of always holding things in, because at my mom's funeral I didn't cry, because someone said to me, let's show all these people that we can really like do this thing, And I didn't cry at my mom's funeral, and then like 2-3 years later, I once punched a glass into my hand that really like went through, cut my vein near below, and then my hand was injured. I had to run to my friend who took me to hospital, and I didn't have a medical aid, you know what I mean? Which is like, oh man, no, so my friend said, You know, I don't care how much is it. So my friend paid 130,000 rand for my operation. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I had all those things in my heart. So I punched the glass because someone said something. I said to someone, like, stop talking about my mom.
Yo.
You know what I mean? And I punched the glass into my hand, you know.
So I actually want us to go back to the initial purpose of this conversation, right?
Yeah.
And with me saying there's no pride or there's no smile to this question, right?
Yeah.
5 suicide attempts, right?
Yes.
How do you, as couple, tell yourself, well, you know what, Mfanaka, let me actually try this life thing?
Do you know, with the 5 suicide attempts, is because I was alone.
Yeah.
You know, I was always alone, like between one man, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would cry every single day because it's not too, so I'm
Yeah.
So I didn't have help. So I would cut myself. There was a time I drank some pills and I was like one side in the and like one of my uncles, about the wife, what pills did this guy take? I don't know, this kind of pills. But I don't know what sharp.
Yeah.
Do you know how that
Yeah.
feels as me? Like I'm there on the floor and like I get a sharp when I'm crying. I'm like, yo, man, you're supposed to, you know, hold me and say to a one. And you know, so I used to write letters to my mother every day and say, this is what happened to me today. I'm sorry for doing this, you know, because I didn't have, you know, and I could only call my best friend, same fit, like Otata kan fit, you know, and he called me to Joburg and fit. And when we make it, we'll make it big together.
Yeah.
You know, and today, you know, we are here. You know, I also speak to Pastor Bugalav, you know, who said, there's a therapist that really helped me.
Yes.
And, you know, what I went through is that, you know, why is it like in the industry, like Mr. Bugalav, he do like a lot of things. And he said to me, go to see the therapist. I went to see the therapist and I started speaking. And when I got there, I started crying. And I'm not talking about the Sabuma 5-6 years back. No, I'm talking about like I went to see the therapist, I think last year before doing my mental health run.
Yeah.
You know, because...
And I want us to tap into that mental health run. 21 kilometers.
Yes.
Chief, you run.
You know, yeah. So the thing is, you know, I saw that thing about mental health. You know, they were doing a 21-kilometer run. I'm like, ish, I'm fit. You know, I really want to do this thing, you know, and at the end, one of my friends who works at the bank, and I'm like, dog, please, can you talk to someone that I really want to join this thing? So then they said, no, you have to register. I said, okay, let me register. I registered, then my pack came, and I went to do the run. And, you know, I met the Bankinho, and I'm like, yo, please, can I, a lady called Zimkita, and like, can I please do another run? Because I feel like that 5Ks was not enough for us to you know, for mental health. And I said, you know what, I challenged the bank 21-kilometer run for mental health, which I invited everyone to come. So the run was for everyone, you know, to come and, you know, support each other. You know, there was no winner, there was no loser. And I did the 21-kilometer run with my friends and everyone. So
here's what I want you to do, right? Just shortly, I'm just going to give you, let's say, 30 seconds, right? Please talk to that guy. Kokasi, please talk to that man who just lost his job. It's very tough. Please talk to that boy who feels like life is falling apart. Please talk to that teenager who feels like they're failing at life. Just from the deepest of your heart, give that word of advice.
All right, cool. You know,
Yo, man,
to the kid out there, to the man out there, you know, to you know, someone who's going through, like, you know, depression, all of those things. You know, I believe like it's okay, you know, to cry. It's okay to look for help. It's okay to, you know, talk to someone, you know. And I just want to say to you, never give up, you know, because I almost gave up in life, and I had to fight this battle, you know, because we need each other as human beings to fight this thing that we're going through, you know what I mean? And whoever you are, just pray, you know, and just believe, because I believe, you know, when you pray and you ask him, he will give you, you know, because I think that's what he did for me, you know. So everything in life happens for a reason, you know, losing my mother and my father, you know, it happened for a reason. I believe that, you know what I mean? And you know, because like sometimes, you know, it will take you 2-3 years, whatever. I mean, it took me like about how many years to be standing here. It took me about I lost my mom in 2008. My dad 2007, so it took me years, you know. I fighting this battle, you know, and you know, it will be okay, and don't forget where you come from, man. You know what I mean? So always check from that one friend of yours that you grew up with. You know, So, but faithfully, those kids, man, like, just follow your heart and just believe and pray, and don't forget to look for help.
You know, actually, one thing that I respect about you, and I'll admit this on live television,
Yeah.
I respect you because you have one thing that I don't think I have the guts to do.
Yeah.
You know, standing here and speaking about it, because in most cases, kibo mauti batlaring, right?
Yeah.
But then quickly, I just want us to tap into your social media following. You have a very big social media following.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Would you say that sort of encouraged you? Do you get advice here and there? Has that played a role in the bold and brave man that you are today?
What, social media?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know social media, Instagram, long time ago. So my friend told me, in fact, buka Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, and just be yourself.
Yes.
And you know, because I'm a like, I do what I love, and I just
Yeah.
or so I opened social media, so it started growing. I can open social media and kind of just post them and then I'm introducing you to my fans. And when I'm introducing to my fans, I mean, like, and because you're a funny guy. I don't think I'm funny, but because I'm funny.
My guy, you're funny.
You know, open social media, you know, started posting whatever and showing people that this guy is sharp, you know, and then started getting like attention from people and getting jobs and you know, nice jobs, you know. So it's nothing.
Listen, I respect you.
No, I
Thank
respect
you so
too.
much.
Don't cry again.
Yeah,
hey, no, one guy no yeah. One guy, let's tell us about something.
TV, I'm speaking English.
Yeah, I can see that, man.
No, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
And then thank you for always talking to men, to young boys. Please continue doing this, Kopa. One day, never wake up tired.
And I'm planning to do my run in Mukhape. You know, I'm still trying to do it. I want to call it run for a reason.
Yes.
You know, so when I say when you're running that time, you're running for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, you can run for your mom, you can run for your dad, you can run from, you know, I'm running for depression today. I'm running for that. So yeah, I'm planning to run. So I'm trying to lose weight, and do a 21-kilometer run for mental health, for everything, for like, so run for a reason.
Yeah,
man.
I'll try that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how we wrap it up as we continue to shine the light on mental health, especially as us, me and you as the men on an everyday life who's going through every situation or every general life problem that me and you go through. The conversation rather continues, as your mental well-being is a key to a healthy body and a healthy life. Sadly, stats reveal that many men suffer from mental illness due to socio-economic and general life challenges. But there are ways in which me and you can turn these lemon into lemonades during these dark and dreadful days. Now, to run off Men's Mental Health Month, Trendz Love joined a group of gentlemen at the Fit Band studio in Centurion. Didn't Lemokelesi shares more about this.
Dedicated to keeping their mental well-being in shape, these men are determined to face the world boldly through physical fitness. After all, a healthy mind largely contributes to a fuller functional body. Fitness specialist Tabang Laga opened the studio after a tragic incident. You've had your fair share of mental challenges. What was the cause and how did you deal with it?
Okay, 2 years back, I found myself being involved in a car accident, and it happened that I lost my child, my best friend, and my late partner. Then after the accident, I found myself being depressed. Then it turned to a point whereby I started abusing alcohol. I started, being absent at work. I was not productive at work. I started, like having low self-esteem. I started being alone, so it affected me a lot. Then because of gym and being physically active, it helped me a lot because of I found myself again.
Suicide cases are often linked to mental illness. Similar to Tabang, McDonald Selahle's tough upbringing sunk him into 2 years of depression.
My dad was police. Policemen are very strict. So I was not even allowed to show emotions or to cry. For example, there was a time whereby I lost my mom and my brother in a space of 2 years. So my dad would say he doesn't want to see any emotions from me, So I had to keep everything inside. So to impress my dad, I had to be a man that he wants me to be, but it was chowing me inside.
Initially you were in denial, but ultimately it caught up with you. What was going on?
I felt like a nobody, that I don't belong in this in this world, I felt like no one understands me. So the only option was to try and commit suicide. So I tried that 2 attempts, it failed.
How important was it for you to fight against mental illness, and what did you do?
I had to do some counseling. Then I also joined the gym. So I said to myself, you know what, let me do something different, something that challenges me. So I gave gym a second chance. Then I started to feel lighter. So I saw the benefits of joining a gym because it triggered all those endorphins, the good feel hormones. Then I started to look better, feel better. Even people were complimenting me. So I sort of like came out of the shell.
Unhealthy eating patterns and insomnia are just a few vital signs, and nourishing your soul and mind is a fundamental practice to curbing the problem. How do you know that you might have mental health issues?
If you find yourself like having like being bipolar, being depressed, having anxiety, having a low self-esteem, doubting yourself, having not having enough self-confidence, that's where you can tell that maybe you do have like a mental issues.
Spirit, soul, and mind work hand in hand. How does one also look after their spiritual being?
Spiritual being, that's where maybe you can just go to church, meditate, do some yoga, find yourself in terms of how to connect to the natural well-being or to nature, anything that has to do with your spirit. So for me, I normally meditate.
Although exhausted after the physical workout, these guys were ready to conquer the world.
I'm tired, I've got cramps, but I think it was worth it. And I think it's very important for men to take care of their mental health because, like me, I struggle with depression, so I think the gym would actually work for me.
How do you feel after that hectic session, and what are the benefits?
I don't feel my legs, but I feel like a whole load has been taken off me. I feel a whole lot lighter because any frustration, I left it here on the floor. One of men's attributes of how they express themselves is through body language and exercise. So when you take care of when you're in the gym, you're actually taking care of your mental health, but men should be careful not to replace weight with mental issues.
A strong mind and body. It's no wonder physical training is a great approach to tackling mental health challenges.
Now, I think I've proven to you the importance of Trendz Love. We don't only entertain you, but we also educate you. Now, did you know that exploring your artistic side is very much therapeutic? You see, different art forms enable us to holistically enhance our senses and capabilities, and the intuition creation of the mandalas is an answer to various challenges that require rebalancing, recentering, and also renewing yourself. Now, Trendz Love producer Dintle Mokelesi joined a group of ladies during a creative workshop at a healing center in Kyalami, Johannesburg. Let's go have a look.
I'm at the Collaborative Healing Center north of Johannesburg, and we've been told that beyond these gates, one can embark on an intuitive creative process through the making of what is called the mandalas. Wow, that sounds like a soul quest. Let's go and find out what this creativity is all about. Come with me. The therapy session commences with a meditational sport and visualization experience. This to help us become present in our bodies and connect with the creative realm.
Being present in your body is very important. So when we start out, we just do a bit of a body presencing to understand where you are, how present are you in your body at this stage, and as a gauge as well to see what is your nervous system like, how is your breathing at this stage, because you can use that then as a gauge at the end of the session to say, I'm calmer, I'm more relaxed, I'm grounded compared to the beginning.
It sounds like yours is a holistic approach to self-realization. What themes do you address?
Themes are whatever people bring with them, whether they are needing to take more time for themselves, whether they are perfectionists like myself, whether they are on a healing journey of some kind. And some people are just here to have fun. So it really depends on where everybody is, and I try and meet them where they're at.
What brought me here was the feeling of being quite stressed. The spiral of mentalizing thoughts going on in my head, round and round in circles, waking up in the middle of the night with all the to-do lists in my head. I was like, I can't do another day like that.
So I came here actually because I'm wounded. I had a small freak accident while I was traveling, and I thought to myself, why not? It's a healing therapy, so it will help me because I was very emotionally down and confused.
And once everyone feels grounded, the quest of self-exploration through art is ignited. Attendees are encouraged to create a mandala in their chosen healing space, which feels right. What are we exploring when we're creating these mandalas?
You're exploring yourself in a way. You can have questions answered. You can also just find a place of calm and centeredness and groundedness. The mandalas for me though help to just really ground and center me, and then having the intuitive process which says there is no rules. So even if a mandala technically looks like this, it doesn't have to look like that. It can look in whatever manner or form that comes out for you.
How is each mandala unique?
Well, every person is unique, so they bring their own set of gifts and tools and life experiences to the table.
Who specifically do you cater for that especially needs this type of art?
For me, that would be people who are looking for more than what they have currently. So whether they are already a creative person who is feeling blocked or stuck in a particular area, or is someone who is just from the beginning just knowing that things aren't going right for them, and how can they change and how can they be different.
A feedback session is part of the healing process. Each creative expresses their artistic experience and gains perspective on how their artwork makes the onlookers feel. This is my childhood piece.
So for me there is so much fun and play and joy and movement and love.
To me, whereas you're looking through an eye, but you're looking at brighter stuff, more positive things. It just brought out assertiveness, and made me realize that what it's all about is being stronger for you. As a mother of 4, having family around you that depend on you, you kind of neglect yourself. And after drawing the mandala, I've just realized that how important it is to be strong for yourself.
What is super valuable for me is the sharing with a group, because alone we can't see ourselves, or we're seeing it very limited. And through the group sharing, I found that we get a different perspective on that which was created by us.
I'm definitely not the same person who arrived here this morning, simply because it's awoken in me a sense of self-judgment, self-criticism, and I'm going to take that home with me so that I can complete the reflection process.
I know they have to be done, but I feel like it's contextualized life for me. It's just a to-do list, it's just stuff that has to be done. This is much more fun. We need to remember how to be children. We need to heal our wounds around creativity.
Now, besides having loads of fun creating this mandalas, I certainly feel a lot more rebalanced, restored and refocused. Now that's a great way of finding out a little bit more about my true inner self.
Welcome back. You're still tuned in to Trendz Live with me, Tisetso Masike. Now, you've already heard that this year's Durban July is going to be out of this world. If you ask me, I was going to say to you it's just about the moon and the stars, but then we found better English. Listen to this. When the stargates transport revelers into a mysterious world far beyond their imagination, lucky stars could align and bring them instant fortune. See what I told you? Trendz Love producer Asanda Zonti had a one-on-one with the punter, sharing tips and hint sessions on which horses to back up, how to place your bets, and enjoy the thrills of this amazing horse races. Now let's go ahead and crack this horse racing code.
How do you pick a winning horse? Over the years, there have been thousands of books written on finding and selecting the right filly or colt to put your money on. Needless to say, It's no easy task finding winners on horse racing.
Hello everybody, I'm coming to you live from Durban Raceville course for the famous Durban July. I'm joking, Yadala. However, Durban is packed this weekend, I'm sure. Everybody's talking about the looks, how they're gonna rock their outfits and looking all glamorous. However, forget about the glitz and the glam and the parties and the after parties. Today, I wanna give you tips on how you can come back with that moolah. So let's get that catching, and I'm gonna teach you how to place a bet tomorrow.
Usually for first-time punters, we'll normally educate them on our traditional bets. So we have the famous win bet, which is an outright win. So for you, if you are new, you could simply place a bet on a horse saying that it's horse number so-and-so that's going to win. If you feel strong about a certain horse, you just say this horse is going to win. Second to that, we have place bets, where you could either pick 3 places or 4 places. That simply means that you're picking 3 horses that are going to come top or 4 horses that are going to come top. Other than that, you can also go for a swinger. A swinger means that it's the 2 horses that are going to come out top out of the 3 horses. Or you can simply go for a pick 6, where you could pick the 6 winners out of the 6 races, which we've got a pool there, very huge pool of 20 million that people can walk away with.
Oh, that much. Okay, so if I bet right now and my horse wins, I could possibly walk away with 20 million. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. That is if you've taken at the pick 6. Pick 6 is when you pick 6 horses to win in 6 races, and then that you would have betted for. Then if all of those races win according to how you've betted them, to say these are the 6 horses that are going to come up tops, then that's when you stand a chance of winning that money.
What are the tools required for this kind of match and when I'm betting?
Well, when you're at the races, we've got a 15% bonus that you're running. That is a bonus that you're running on all deposit. So if you are there and then you deposit, and then so we give you an extra 15%. For me, that is the biggest tool that you need to utilize when you are at the races, just to make sure that you maximize on your winnings. And then secondly, it's the form guides that I spoke about earlier on. Those are form guides that actually show you the performance of the horses, as to the weight of the horses, the type of a horse, the races that have ran in the past. So those are some of the things that you can look at and see as to which horse you can handpick for the day.
Okay. This sounds interesting. I'm still trying to process this in my head as you speak right now. Tips and hints. How many horses are going to be racing tomorrow?
So we've got a field of 20 this time around. In terms of tips, we've got some very good horses that are lined up for this, with the favorite being a debutant in this particular race, which is the horse called See It Again. But also bear in mind that there's also a brother to this horse, which is called Do It Again. So Do It Again has a very rich history in the July. He'll be featuring for the 6th time, and he's won the race twice. He's placed once, and he's been in the top 3 2 times already. Under Hollywood Bet Syndicate, we have a newcomer who's a debutant in this. They'll be running for the first time in this main race. The name of the horse is Time Flies. It is an outsider. It's not the favorite in this race, but it has been doing very well. It has improved. It's sitting on odds of 40s to 1, but we're expecting it to do very well, and it will be interesting to see how the horse finishes.
Hold on. You are talking about odds of 40s to 1. What is that?
Those are just the prices that we put on horses. So when you say 40 is to 1, it means for every 1 rand you get 40 rand. So depending on how much you put on a horse, if you put 10 rand, then you get 400 rand. So
what's the next step? How do I claim my money?
Well, it's simple as that. If you've played on your online account, we credit your online account. So there's various ways of getting your money back. It's either you can do an e-wallet to yourself, or instant money, or you could easily link your betting account with your bank account and transfer your money into your account. But if you are at the races and you've placed a bet over the tote, that bet slip, that is your ticket. You do not lose it. You take that after the races. After you see that you have won, you go over the counter and you collect your money. It's just easy as that, and you get your money cash on the day.
That's it on Trendz Live. Guys, we are sharing tips, and you better win tomorrow.
Now, we have given you all the tips on horse racing. I don't want you to stand to one and be like, Kichima on every single horse that you bet. Now, our next insert is definitely not for viewers who are terrified of reptiles, especially snakes. As usual on this show, we are lovers of all things fun and adventurous. Now, producer Kiadimile Moalusi visited the Reptile Conservation Park in Hartbeesfontein in the Northwest Province to learn more about the reptiles and amphibians. Now, did you know that not all snakes lay eggs and not all of them actually have eyelids?
I need to know first what's in there and how many snakes do you have in there before I decide if I'm going in or not.
I think you've arrived at the very perfect time. We've just had a snake escape and you're going to help us find it. No, I'm joking, don't worry. No snakes can escape from our facility. So this is Chameleon Village Reptile and Conservation Park. So primarily we're a reptile park, so there's lots of various snakes from South Africa, from all over the world. There's lizards, there's crocodiles, there's tortoises, all the various reptiles are here. And as I said, we're a small conservation park, so we have small animal species with us, like caracals and servals and raccoons and meerkats and things like that. Lots of them unwanted pets that people bring into us. We even do a little bit of rehabilitation. So when people have pet monkeys, for example, and they get too rough and start biting them, they get too big, then we eventually take them in and we help with the rehabilitation process of getting them back to the wild.
The thought of walking around this educational facility, seeing different kinds and sizes of snakes may be intimidating. And here, there are over 350 snakes comprising of about 80 different species. This facility also houses frogs, mongoose and rescued animals. They have indigenous lizard species. Over and above being a tourist attraction facility, they also have programs to teach people about these reptiles.
We also go out to various institutes and we do lots of school lectures where we start from young ages, from pre-primary, primary schools, high schools. We teach them about the various reptiles that they can encounter in South Africa, what to do if they encounter a reptile, why they're important not to be killed, and of course also helping them understand, because most of us are scared of these animals due to misconceptions. So when we remove these misconceptions and actually educate them, they stop being scared of these reptiles, and then there's a better future for our reptiles.
Are we ready to go inside now?
Well, I am. The question is, are you ready to go inside?
I don't think I am. I don't think I am.
No, it's very easy. Come on. All our animals are in enclosures, then nothing can get out, and it's very safe.
Okay.
And you should really try and meet and greet one of our snakes at least.
Meet and greet, you mean?
Touch one, hold one.
So, Trenda, I'm going to try and go inside and yeah, let's see how that goes.
So you are in what we call our reptile house. There are a number of reptile enclosures, terrariums, vivariums, full of various snakes from all over the world. We have venomous snakes, harmless snakes. We do, however, concentrate on the indigenous snakes of Southern Africa, both venomous and harmless, which we then try and educate the public on the indigenous snakes that they're likely to encounter in the wild by us in South Africa. What to do if you encounter with snakes, how to handle them, how to more or less identify snakes, what kind of venoms they've got, if a snake bites you, what happens to you, and how to deal with it. There are two boa constrictors in this enclosure. The smaller one is a he, the bigger one is a she, a male and a female. They are boa constrictors. They're actually American snakes. They're not from South Africa. They look very similar to our South African pythons. These are boas, part of the python family. They're completely harmless, so they have no venom or that. The reason why you think he's looking excited is he's actually now starting to try and get more closer to the warmth to settle in for the evening, and that's why he's reaching up towards the heat light. Probably the largest cobras in Southern Africa. They are from the KwaZulu-Natal area. They are known as the forest cobras. It's Africa's deadliest snake, for that matter. So when we say deadliest, we mean the snake that's probably going to kill you the quickest if it bites you. Not that it's the most aggressive snake or anything like that. In actual fact, mambas are very misleading. People mistaken them for aggressive snakes. They're really not. They are highly nervous snakes. They're very scared. So when they have people encounters, they try and run away as quickly as possible. And if they are cornered and can't run away, then they often do attack. This is boomslang, probably the most venomous snake in Southern Africa. We get snakes that are what we call mildly venomous or semi-venomous. So for example, a nice big olive grass snake is considered to be a mildly venomous snake. So it's got venom. The venom is effective on its food, but has very little effect on humans. So this is a nice big olive grass snake.
So Trenda, it would be very interesting to know if your fear of reptiles, especially snakes, has subsided after seeing these slithering Ophidians. Do let us know on our Twitter page at Trendz on SABC.
If you are about pushing boundaries, then you are about to be conscientized to continue being unique. Amongst many other talents, musician Dondara is reinventing the game on the musical scene. He is working on a double album. One is a reggae disc and the other a hip-hop one. But before we chat with this authentic performer, let us get a sense of what to expect from his new work. The band, Mr. Dondara, over to you.
My brother, super producer, raps. Dondara in the building, Reptile Studio, no set. Rastafari. Order more champagne for the army. 5 days in Spain for the karma. More champagne for me, mama. Make your shower, say we the man of the hour. Yeah, and this is our hour. Yeah, and even if the time moves forward, at least we had our moment. Pause, take picture and put it right by your side. Paul quote scripture and still him if he die. Jesus been crowned and still them crucified. All my brother gone but still they multiply. Them could turn off light but still we go and shine. Still we go and grind. Still I want mine. See but don't find. My mind is a gold mine. Growing like grapevine. Told you it take time. Lead but not follow. Taste but not swallow. It's 30 pieces of silver enough to drown sorrow. These are my brother. Still it get deep. Love to my people. Born on my street. Order more champagne for the army. 5 days in Spain for the karma. More champagne for my mama. Make your shower. Say we the man of the hour. Yeah, and this is our hour. Yeah, so even if the time moves forward, at least we had our moment. Pause, freeze frame, then edit it overnight. Match you quote scripture and still him at we die. Jesus walk on water and still him crucified. Mandela practice law and still him testify. Them could turn up power but still we go and grind. Still we go and shine. Heart on the front line. Crush grapes and pour wine. Now wasting our time. Them seek and don't find. Them see but them blind. Lead but not follow. Taste but not swallow. Eat bread today.
Welcome back. This is still Trendz Live. Do not forget to head onto our Twitter at Trendz on SABC. Tell us, have you had any experiences with snakes? Do you have any pictures you want to share? Or maybe tell us a bit of story. I'll be reading it live on air. We love hearing from you. Now, Youth Month is coming to an end, but the cause and intentions of why it is celebrated will never cease. After all, memories are said to last forever. As we reflect on this important month in history, we love to make the show about you, to hear what you have to say, and we thought, let's take it to the streets. Now, Trendz Live took it to the streets of Jozi recently to get a few reaction on two things. Number one, what makes the youth of today different? And then secondly, how does the future seem to look for tomorrow's young people? And here's their thoughts.
The youth of today doesn't put much focus on things that will build them for the future, you see. So maybe many of them, they're just sitting around there in the casies doing nothing, you see. So yeah, it looks very scary.
For now we are fine, but I feel like as youth we are failing ourselves. There are youth that doesn't respect adults anymore. We want finished products. We don't want to work for our futures.
Today's youth compared to youth yakhale, socially raleka, and we're not involved.
We're less interested. We don't vote. We don't register to vote. We don't even think of who's gonna increase the currency tomorrow, or how that's gonna happen either.
Positively, so I can say we do have opportunities now, but then we as youth, we don't take anything serious.
We have a voice and we need to
carry on what they were fighting for, which is education, equal education for everybody.
I'd say the future looks a bit scary, but there's some of us that actually want to see the country move forward and get better because we are so behind. So yeah, I would not like to leave such a legacy for my children. I'd say it's still safe if we have a lot of us that would recognize each other and give each other this kind of information. Yeah, so it's like a 50-50. It just depends on what we do with what we have.
Menelik Nesta Gibbons, popularly known as Dondara in the entertainment industry, has achieved a great deal as a reggae hip-hop artist and social influencer. Now, as we round up this Youth Month in celebration of young people, Dondara is literally a force to be reckoned with as he uses his music as an instrument for raising pivotal conversations. Working on a double album, his music is about consciousness and is also targeted at young people. Please allow me to welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Very excited to have you on the show, right?
I'm excited to be here.
So let us start here. Your music. Why does hip-hop and reggae play a very important part or role in your genre of your music?
Well, you know, reggae music, you could look at it as the grandfather of hip-hop. So hip-hop sprung from reggae music. Hip-hop is the music of the youth right now. It's very popular along with amapiano. So if you want to communicate with the youths, you have to use their language, their medium, and I chose hip-hop as that, and reggae comes along with it. So I'm just honored to be a part of both.
Yeah, let us do this just for a bit. Let's park Dondara on the side. I just want to focus on Menelik, which is the name of the king of Ethiopia. And then another powerful name, Nesta, you know, Bob Marley, his son. Why is that and what does that mean for you?
Well, you know, my parents are very deep-thinking people. My father's name is Moses, which means brought from the water. Menelik means son of a wise man. So I think my father was trying to say he's wise. I'm not sure. I joke. No, it's just a powerful name, and it's in remembrance of our African lineage. When we look at Africa, I see a borderless Africa. I don't see Africa that's defined by whatever convention put the borders upon us. I see Africa as it was way before Akebulan, hence my name Menelik. Nesta obviously is in honor of the great man himself, Robert Nesta Marley, Menelik Nesta Gibbons, and the legacy continues.
As I was walking through the corridors and my producer gives me the script, I'm seeing a new term, double album.
Yes, sir.
And I'm thinking to myself, hip-hop and reggae all at once, beautiful, wouldn't you agree? Right, so I just want you to just tap into the importance of breaking the culture and the tradition. Why is this an important drive for you?
Well, you know, when you look at music, music has evolved in so many ways over the times, and right now we're at a stage where music is being ingested at lightning space and basically thrown away. People listen to a song for a minute, 2 minutes, and they toss it out. For me, an album is a great way to stand apart and say, I still believe in the beauty of creating an entire project. And then by coupling together with hip-hop and with reggae, it shows versatility. It also allows me to get my message out in different ways, appeal to different markets. So I think it was a great move for me to touch everybody that I want to touch.
So then in your business of music, for you it's more than just the beat, it's more than just performing. You have this unwavering passion, you know, of Africa rising, right? I just want us to understand the concept that you use to promote this whole drive or this whole purpose.
So my previous album, it was entitled Akebulan. Akebulan is the ancient indigenous name of Africa before colonialization. This is the name we called ourselves before anybody else put a foot onto our continent. This is where the idea sprang from, to give back national pride, to be happy of where you come from is such an important thing that builds a better nation. That foundation, it makes you want to wake up and to work to make your country better. So that was the driving force behind that. And then not just for South Africa, I look at the entire African continent. People are in need all over this continent. We have different types of what could you call it, different types of sicknesses going around. It says it's not COVID that we have to worry about. We've got to worry about poverty. We've got to worry about unemployment. We've got to worry about gender-based violence. So these are the type of things as an artist that I have to bring to awareness of the public. Otherwise, it stays swept under the rug.
So growing up, I just want to go down my childhood for a bit. I remember the one time my mother brought me an Easter egg and I opened it and there were 2 gifts inside instead of one. I was super excited. And I just want to tap into that double album, you know, not just one, but twice. You know, just tell us a bit about that and what should we expect most importantly from this double album?
100%. So the album is entitled The Heart and the Mind. Reggae is going to be the heart. Love reggae with the entire heart. Hip-hop is going to be the mind, where I'm speaking about all of the issues that really affect me mentally and really affect all of us in general mentally. So you're going to expect to dance, you're going to expect to cry, go through a whole range of emotions, because I believe that's what an album should bring out of the listener.
And then another one? One for Another.
Yes, sir.
Yes, tell us a bit about
Well,
that.
One for Another is a song that I had written inspired by the stories I had read about our own freedom fighters in Robben Island. They had a technique called each one teach one, where they would enlighten each other. So I took that and I adopted it and made it One for Another. This is for the modern day. We have to come together, we have to build each other. It's the only way that we can make our country better.
One for Another.
One for Another.
That's the message,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to give this beautiful band alongside Dondara, giving us a beautiful track titled One for Another. You know how they say one each and one for another. Please enjoy.
Big up yourself. I go by the name of Dondara. Who don't say? And I just got one message for you. Pardon me, brethren, all the empress out there. Boom. I got love for my team, yes I got love for fam. Never thought that we make it, now we run in this land. Never sleeping or resting, negus, negas. The kings of kings bless him, so who are you to stress them? I got love for my brethren, yes they all got my back. I got no love for the system, cause it don't love us back. Got my people in shacks, got my people in shacks. Got my people in shacks, they hold my people back. One on another, together we are built. Two for my brother and sisters that are real. Three for the pygmy, the future of the world. Four for the lion who roaming in the field. Me say, one on another, together we are built. Two for my brother and sisters that are real. Three for the pygmy, the future of the world. Four for the lion who roaming in the field. Who roaming in the field. Who roaming in the field. Who rolling in the field and keeping it so real. Me see so little love in the world right now. So much violence and hate right now. So much poverty and pain right now. Look at youth in the streets and them get gunned down. And them get gunned down. We see so little care in the world right now. Them now want to see the little youth burn up. Lord of mercy. Them nine nights one on another. Together we are built. Two for my brother and sisters that are real. Three for the picnic, the future of the world. Four for the lion who roaming in the field. He said, one on another, together we are built. Two for my brother and sisters that are real. Three for the picnic, the future of the world. Four for the lion who roaming in the field. Who roaming in the field. Who roaming in the field. Who rolling in the field and keeping it so real. Them love Hennessy, especially down carry on. But them now have to take care of them own first band. Them love Fendi and Gucci and nails too long. But them now want to love, them want just have fun till the night get done. Till the night get done. Till the night get done. Them now never go together. Be strong. I inspire just to set your hunger. I want my people building up to the sky and higher to get your own empire. Knowledge what you require. Know yourself inspired. Set your brother man higher. Set your sister up higher. Set the system on fire. Cause your capital is national from the land you acquire. Fast forward to the future, now the children are.
As I promised you, hot performances at that. But unfortunately, it's that time for me to say goodbye and head out. Now be sure to set your reminders now so that you don't forget throughout the week. It's on SABC News Channel 404. That's at 8 p.m. every single Friday. Now do tell your friends, your cousins, everyone you know. And for the message of today, what you should take from the show, actually, be nice to yourself. Be kinder to yourself. The world is hard enough on you. Listen for me, Tisa Tomasik, and the amazing team behind the camera. Goodbye and God bless. Mudimukyo. Cheers.